Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm getting ready to bless my new deck, the Herbal Astrology deck, that I haven't opened the cards, but I did open the book. And I had some fun last night going through it, and I really like the fact that for each of the planets, it indicates which cards and which herb is beneficial to that planet. And it also goes into, at the end, the asteroids and the lunar nodes. So what I've done is go through the little book and look at the herbs that it's indicating for each planet and bring it all together here for you. Now I'm going to try to go slow because I don't want to bump the camera and knock things off the table. There's a lot on the table here. So these are the herbs that I've collected. Not all of them I have grown because some of them are a little bit tropical or different than what I would normally have on my property. So we're going to start over here in this one here. And it may not be the perfect way to put the planets out, but for this video, it's working for me. Now, I tried to stick as close as I could to what she suggested in the book, and this is Adriana Ayals with artwork by Josephine, and you can see the last name there, Clerks. Lovely little pocketbook. The only thing I can say that is detrimental is the type is a little bit small, but at least it's all included here. It's a great little book. And I guess they had to make it that size so that it could fit within its little box, because this is the pocket oracle size. So without further ado, let's see what I'm going to be blessing the cards in the middle with. Well, I've started with a sunstone, two sunstones, and a moonstone. And I haven't watched too many videos, but let's just set about placing some herbs for each of the planets. Now, this is my calendula that I grew in the garden, and it is great to have for the sun planet because of the golden yellow. So that is going in my little dish for blessings, and I'm not going to worry about making messes on the table. That's going to be all part of it. So there's my calendula, and it did suggest rosemary was good for the planet or the energy of the sun. So this is rosemary that I grew too. So I'm going to put a pinch of rosemary in there to bring the sun's energy into the deck. Now we're going to go on to the moon, and she had 3 suggestions: sage, chamomile, and mugwort. And I'm going to use my chamomile and put some in there. You don't need a lot, it's just a little blessing for the deck to amplify the energies. And this one is a little bit of sage. So I'm going to put some of that in there too to bring some good moon energy. And I don't know if anyone else goes to this extent, but I thought, why not? Let's have some fun. So now we're going on to the planet Venus. And she suggested Damiana and rose along with yarrow. So I've got a big enough dish that I can put some Damiana. And this was from my garden at the last house, which is the yarrow. And a wee bit of rose. Now, this one's a little bit tricky to get the lid off, but I store a little bit of fairly ground up blooms, and I'm going to put some of that in there for love Romance, Venus, the house of Venus. Okay, so now we're going on to Mercury. Now, it did suggest go to cola, and I happen to have that because if you have kidney or bladder issues, steeping some of this go to cola in a tea is quite nice. So that's going in there for Mercury. I guess it would bring calming thoughts, just like the lavender would. So I'm going to take a good dose of that and put that in. Now we're going on to Mars. And this one called for nettle. And again, for bladder and kidney and well-being, I've got some nettle here. So that is in. Now, I didn't have the other two ingredients or three that were probably mentioned. So I'm just going with what I could muster up. And then we're going on to Jupiter. And I did have some echinacea from the garden. Always good for well-being. And in the deck, she gives you lots more information on what each of the herbs are for and how it taps in to the planetary energy that you're working with. So I'm putting everything I can in there. And like Jupiter, it sort of speeds up the healing. Then we're going on to Saturn. And this is where I'm going to be adding my comfrey. And this is good for healing wounds, digestions, things of that nature. But you always want to do your own research and listen to your own body. So that's going in there. And these little spoons are so adorable. I got them in a little Catholic store that had a sale area. All right, so after Saturn, we go on to Uranus. And it suggested ginseng and ginkgo. So this is the only ginseng that I have. And so I'm just going to use a smidge on the spoon. And there is my ginseng. Can't, my spoon stuck to my finger. There we go. Move a couple things so I don't create a disaster. It's so much fun to have stuff on the shelf that you can turn to for blessings and healings. Now the next one is Neptune, and it suggested valerian. I'm not keen on the smell of it. I have it, and it is good for sleep and calming. But it also said, and I think I was doing research on the internet, that I could use mugwort. So that is what I have here. A good dose of mugwort going down. And again, I'm trying not to hit the camera. And we go on to Pluto. And if you are a Scorpio person, Pluto's probably a pretty important house for you. And I had a suggestion on the internet that I could use hops. Now this does also have quite a fragrance, and there a lot of people put this in their little dream pouches and dream pillows, but when you take the lid off this, it's like super powerful and not the prettiest scent. So I'm just going to dig in here and put some hops there. All right, so I'm just going to pause for a second here and remove some of the jars. Okay, and we're back. So the other thing that is mentioned in the Herbal Astrology Pocket Oracle is that you can be working also with the asteroids and the nodes. So with the asteroids, it wanted some lemon balm, And that's from my garden. And I gotta leave time to look at the cards. So for the asteroids, I'm just going to put this around the perimeter. And that will send some energy, hopefully, to the workings with the asteroids. And it also suggested dragon's blood, which I have a little bit here for when I do some of my incense blends. So I'm just going to tap a little bit of dragon's blood around the outside. And yes, it's going on my cloth, but the cloth can always be shaken. And this is also, I've got on my little jar here, that it's good for using if you want to create spells. You can make like an ink from the resin, which is kind of funky too. And we're going to add in, as it suggested, some dandelion. And that is just from the property. Trying to pick the driest ones when I was hunting about. And again, this is for the asteroids, so it's going all around. There we go. Now for the nodes, it suggested Palo Santo. So I have some of that resin as well. And that I'll probably just pick up off the cloth after because, got to be frugal. So there's some Palo Santo going around. Everywhere I can go. And the other thing I wanted to show you was I picked up a few years ago these little charms, and they're for each of the zodiac signs. So if I'm working with the cards and I want to highlight what zodiac is coming up, I've got those. And they were not expensive. So the last little thing we're going to do, I think I'm going to leave that to the end so I don't lose my voice, is a little bit of rose incense because I want to get to the cards. Now, I don't have time here to do a blending of each of the herbs in the bowls and a little blessing. I'll do that after because I'm sure everybody wants to see the cards. So I'm going to zoom in and lower this down so that I can get comfy and look through the cards with you. Okay, so we'll take off our little gemstones, but include them later for further blessings. And let's see what this little deck has for us. There's a peek at the back. That looks kind of nice and earthy. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of pretty. Looks like it's going to be reversible too. Nice. Okay, so there is number 1. Move another jar. Calendula for purity. You got the sun's energy, the sunflowers. St. John's wort for radiance. Rosemary. Memory. Rue for protection. And I will say that I have worked with rue and I had welts all over my arms. So be very careful if you're allergic to it. Pretty blue lotus. Sage. I think I have this in a tea. Don't have that. Chamomile. Whoops. There we go. And there's our mugwort for psychic healing. Damiana. Rose. And I'll shuffle at the end and we'll pick one card and see what it says. Motherwort. Hibiscus. I have that. Our yarrow. Mucana. Just going to adjust this camera a little bit more because it's hard for me to see the tiny detail. Okay, for journey work, Mucana. Go to Kola. Lion's mane. I did get some tea. I think I would probably sweeten it with a little bit of honey. Tulsi. Lavender. Nettle. Sacha. Milk thistle. An offering of tobacco is always recommended. Cat's claw. Cordyceps. I have never heard of that one. Reishi. So you can see very faintly these symbols. Elder. Never tried this one. Echinacea. Really is a beautiful plant. Cannabis. Comfrey. Got a crystal there on the side. Arnica. Oops, that one went flying. Mitrania. It's another one that has escaped my view. Horsetail. Coca. Pretty card. Rhodiola. Cacao. Ginkgo. And they are a nice matte finish. Ginseng. Poppy. Amanita. Passion flower. Pretty. I like the owls over her head there. Valerian. Mandrake. Angel's trumpet, favorite flower. Skull cap. Little scorpion there. Kava kava. I'm not going to try to say that one. Okay, so I'll still continue and do my blessings after, but I thought we'd quickly pick one card and do a quick little indication of some of the info it's going to talk about. So we'll send this out to everyone as their blessing card. Something to consider maybe for the week ahead. There you go, card number 50 for rebirth. And let me find that in the book and we'll read about it. Okay, so in her little book, it says upright. It refers to rebirth, mastery, great revelations, discovery of the higher self, and meeting with the creatrix. A divine messenger card with gifts from the spirit and realization, along with telepathy and transcendence. If it happened to be coming up reversed, it could be talking about disbelief in unseen forces and loss of identity, plus a little bit more. It is ruled by Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune. So that's where we have the little bit of hops here for Pluto. And Neptune, that was mugwort. So, is an ancient ceremonial brew native to Amazon, used as a sacred spiritual medicine among many indigenous peoples within South America. It means soul, spirit. And then it goes on to talk about the brew is traditionally prepared for curing ills, divination, and as a diagnostic tool for healing others. It is served by a shaman as a sacred song and dance, and the brew induces a profound visionary state, hence the mugwort. Okay. As far as guidance goes, because there's a lot of information there, 2 or 3 pages, you are mastering the power of awareness this week, people, when aligning to a higher power. The Spirit is here to support your ascension, drawing upon ancient wisdom embedded in your DNA and the earth. Allow yourself to be shattered as you travel through the cosmic womb. It catalyzes, it purifies, and through this, it allows you to release the known, only to reveal undiscovered terrain within your very soul. You are one with the magnetic brilliance of Source. Wow, okay. So, if you happen to be feeling lost in the labyrinth, it happens when a loss of intentionality or respect occurs. Offer your greatest intentions and sacrifice your needs and enter into the void without expectation and allow yourself to be consumed by the oceanic consciousness. Remember that to heal the world, you must heal yourself, and you are the source of love. So, I still have a long way to go to learn all of this information, but I think this is a pretty fun start. And If anyone has any insights they wish to share about working with the deck, again, just contact me in the comments below. But everyone, I guess have a herbal blessing day is what I was going to say as I swept everything around. And I hope that you have some herbal decks that you enjoy that can bring out all of this wonderful healing. Blessings again, and thank you for watching. This is Craggy Brook Witchery.